Hello, Beechville Park. It's me. We are no strangers to one another. We have already been walking this journey together in faith and ministry for almost 10 years. Now, many of you have asked me since last fall if I was interested in the role of senior pastor beyond the interim. I admit my answers to you were often vague. But I want you to know that this was not out of secrecy, but honestly my own discernment and willingness to follow God, however He may lead. I didn't want to close any doors, I wanted to keep them open. I told the pastor search committee early on that this was not a position that I was seeking to win. It was, however, a possibility I wanted to explore with them. I have always wanted to do what is best for the church. And whether that was continuing on as associate pastor, modifying my responsibilities to meet the changing needs here, or stepping up to lead as senior pastor, I wanted to enter into this process with an open mind and an open heart to the Spirit's guidance. And that's what I did, and it led us all here. But let's pretend like we're just meeting for the first time. I want to tell you a little bit more about myself, my relationship with Christ, and my calling to ministry. So I grew up going to church with my family. We primarily attended Baptist churches. And I remember being about 8 years old trying to read straight through the Bible for the first time. But I'm pretty sure I only made it to Genesis 3. By middle school, I became more interested in what it really means to follow Jesus. I listened as closely as I could to sermons that I heard. I took notes and wrote down questions. I began making prayer a regular part of my life. I read the Bible and devotionals, and my desire to learn and to listen to God became more and more pronounced. When I was 13 years old, I made a profession of faith in Christ, and I realized that Christianity was more than my heritage, but a call to personal discipleship. And I was baptized in January of 2000. Now, my paternal grandfather was also a Baptist pastor, but I knew him only after he had retired. This was always a curiosity that I had about his work in the back of my mind, but I never voiced it to him or to anyone really. Though I might have realized that people like me, women like me, could be ministers, it always seemed like there were far too many obstacles standing in the way. So I stayed silent. Later, I began studying at Georgetown College, where right away I was drawn to religion classes. Now, I didn't go to school intending to study ministry, but once I was there, I just couldn't help it. I told myself that I wanted to learn more about the Bible because I would always be a Christian no matter what career I ended up in. And the more I studied, the more I was interested in learning more. At one point, I was in my professor's office, distraught because I wanted so much to continue on, but it just seemed so impractical. So in the end, I dual majored in business management just to help alleviate some of my worries about going down this path of ministry. And my heart knew all along that I was called to ministry. Somehow, some way that didn't make any sense at the time. Immediately after college, I got a job as a youth minister at Melbourne Heights Baptist Church, and I began taking courses at the Baptist Seminary of Kentucky. These experiences helped me slowly realize how God had been preparing me for this work all my life. I finally had an opportunity to experience what it was like to minister in a church. I finally had words to put to my calling. I finally saw examples of other people who were like me, preaching, teaching, pastoring in the church in so many ways. And I realized that God had been molding me into a pastor for a very long time. In 2013, Buchel Park, you first welcomed me as a pastor. First as a minister with youth, then as associate pastor of spiritual formation. You loved me. You saw me through my graduation from seminary. You ordained me to ministry. You welcomed my husband, Neil, when we got married and he joined the church. You welcomed my children, Luke and Nora, into our family of faith. And last fall, you trusted me to be your interim senior pastor. For almost 10 years, we have known each other. We have grown together. We have been challenged together. Our strengths and weaknesses are no mystery to one another. And that's exciting because we don't have that hurdle to jump. We don't have to spend a year or two just finding our rhythm. We can begin moving forward together right away, putting into action the visioning work that has already been done this year. I know the road ahead is not easy. Churches today face quite a few challenges, and I can't make promises about what the future is going to look like. But I do have hope. God has worked in and through churches for a long time. God has worked in and through Buchel Park for a long time, almost 94 years. I believe that God has much more to do here. And I sense God drawing us closer, urging us all to reconsider how we are living a life of discipleship, and reimagining with us the role of the church in our world. The years to come are filled with mystery, as they always are. And we can choose to be afraid, or we can choose to move forward in faith together. Because we're not in this alone. We serve the God of resurrection, who gives us the hope that our faith and this church is founded on. So I believe that we have a bright future together. God calls us forward into it with a spirit of wonder. And I am grateful and honored and truly excited for this opportunity to continue journeying with you into the season of ministry together. I love you, Buchel Park. See you soon.